We're going Wimmera football, and I'll tell you what, it's been a season of great interest and still one that's open. That's one of the only places where it still is. But we got on the line who's been with us throughout the season and is a resident expert in a lot of things when it relates to footy and sport in the local area around Warwick Nabil, and it is Scotty Stewart from the Warwick Herald. How are you, Scotty?
G'day, Wayne. Yeah, going well, thanks.
Well, we got to the end of this season. It's sort of like the end for our winter footy show. And we'll certainly, if we do get games played in the Wimmera and Horsham district, keep you informed with Scotty coming back for them. But right now, Scotty, with Wimmera and Horsham district, the only competitions in this part of Victoria, but in the main, I think most of the others have all actually gone and said their seasons are over. Have you been surprised that they haven't called it?
Well, no, I'm not that surprised they haven't called it, to be honest with you. They've mapped out their plan earlier, probably around 3 or 4 weeks ago now, and they're sticking with it. They both the Wimmera and Horsham district, they set their plan. They said that they up until September 25 they'd still run with their top 4, 1v4, 2v3, and then a grand final on October 2. So, no, I'm not that surprised, to be honest with you. It is interesting listening to around the areas, which you'll allude to with a lot of these other leagues that have called it, which is fair enough. I mean, you take the major ones down Ballarat way and places like that. They're obvious they were going to go, aren't they? But no, that's good. The leagues around here, they've really put that focus on the juniors, especially. And they really want those kids to get out there and have a run around, and they're holding on to that. And we can only hope that with announcements that are meant to be made this weekend, that everything will go ahead. But no, look, I'm not surprised, but hopefully that they can get something going.
Yeah, it's interesting because we look at the circumstances for this meeting on Sunday that we've been told could well decide the roadmap in terms of whether or not we get crowds and so on. But I mean, when that becomes the question for, say, the Wimmera, if you're talking about a grand final on October the 2nd at the Warwick Nabil Anzac Park, if there weren't to be a crowd, it was just junior kids coming along to play, it would seem to me that to run an event like that, the cost to the league would be significant. I mean, you've got security and you've got to have your medical staff, all those sorts of things. And then the loss to the clubs that are in fact involved, so not having a crowd or only having a small crowd for grand final day, it just seemed to me that there's so many factors that could be more significant in calling it off than actually keeping it going. Yeah,
that's a fair point. There's no doubt about that, because look, in all honesty, you'd think at this stage there won't be any crowds. There'll be the preliminary finals and the grand final are probably going to be played crowdless, and as you say, there is always going to be those the extra costs that would take place. I mean, in normal times, you've got your obviously your canteens and your boozers, and other clubs would maybe sell their alcohol for the day, or the Warwick Eagles, if we hope to host the grand final, organise all catering and all that. But yeah, as you said, there's not going to be any traffic to go through there, so there's not going to be not much money made there. And if it's up to the leagues to still go ahead with it and foot the bill and make sure that a grand final is recorded for season 2021. But it is a good question, isn't it? Do you go with it? Do you weigh it up that way? I've got no reason to say at the moment that it's not going to happen that way. So the league's got their plans in place, and they're following through with it at this stage. But as I say, we've got some announcements coming up on the weekend, and that might change. It might change for the better. It might change for the worse. Hopefully it changes for the better.
Yeah, very interesting situation. Looking just back to some on-field things, and this week we had some awards that were decided, and it's been great for some of the juniors, even in your club at the under-14 and under-17 level, and I know in the netball too, there's been some really good success, and over at Minyat Matawa too, a bit of a junior success.
Yeah, it was good. They started them, was it last Monday night? They had the first of the juniors, and then Wednesday night they had some more with the under-17s, under 15s. And now, as you say, the local kids for Warwick Eagles, I know the Inkster family have polled very well throughout the nights, with young Charlie winning an equal winner of the 15 under netball best and fairest with 20 votes, and young Max Inkster who polled pretty well in the under 14s. And you say there about the Wimmera young Oscar Gorth, who's come first, equal first, with a young fella, Sonny Kettle from Ballarat with 16 votes, and another young local girl, Lauren Klein. She's finished 1 vote behind in the 13 unders to finish runner-up in the league. And there was some interesting results right through there. It was amazing. I read one of them there. I just a bit of a side note here with the under 14s in the Wimmera League, and the young fella from Ballarat, Will Boucher, he's polled 29 votes to win that under 14 best and fairest. He won it by 1 vote from a young fella from Morsha who polled 28 votes. And you think these kids have only played 10 or probably 12 games, I think, wasn't it? So yeah. They've dominated throughout. But no, that's good. The league have done that well throughout the week with the live streaming, and these kids have been rewarded for their seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. And this week, of course, the reserve grade on Monday night, and on Wednesday night, the senior football, which I've got a reckoning might be a bit of celebration going on over at the Stall Warriors of the football side. Are you with me on that? Yeah,
no, definitely. I haven't really wavered on that one. I think that might be on the cards. We've spoken about it with just the club awards, and I know they don't relate to umpires' votes and how all that works out, but you keep putting your name up there, and that's with the Stall coach Tom Eckel, who's going to be under notice. He's a midfielder and gets a lot of the footy, so he, to me, will be a bit of a favourite going into that camp on Wednesday night. And, it should be interesting. Could we well for Mark Wayne? You never know, but that's a name that would stand out to me, I think.
Certainly will, and some from Wimmera too. There's going to be plenty of action. The McIntyre boys and the Delahunties, and they all take votes from each other, though, I reckon. So I just got a reckoning that it's going to be a terrific count, that is for sure. We're looking forward to seeing the season finalised one way or another, and look forward to getting your comments from the Warwick Herald. Scotty Stewart, and we do thank you for your participation in our winter sports show this year. You've always been willing to come on and talk about what's happening in the Wimmera, and we do appreciate your time for that this year.
Yeah, no worries, Wayne. It's always good to have a chat with you. No worries.